Broadcast home for your Windy City Bulls and Chicago Dogs.
We're in a league of our own.
Now, here's your SportsTownChicago.com update.
It is 1:15. I'm Andrew DeBruycker with your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. Cubs came away with a big victory today, beating the Pittsburgh Pirates 10-4, putting together a complete performance on both sides of the ball. The offense delivered when it counted, with timely hitting, driving in runs, and keeping pressure on the opposing pitching staff throughout the game. Chicago showed patience and power, working counts and capitalizing on scoring opportunities. Key hitters came through in clutch situations, helping build and maintain the lead. On the south side, White Sox absolutely dominated Minnesota Wednesday night with a 15-2 blowout win, one of their most complete offensive performances of the season. Chicago came out swinging early, putting runs on the board in the first and never letting up offensively. By the middle innings, this one was already out of reach, while the White Sox kept piling on hit after hit. Bulls are entering the offseason with significant salary cap space, and giving them the ability to be aggressive in free agency or take on contracts in exchange for additional draft assets. That flexibility could lead to multiple roster moves over the coming weeks. Chicago is positioned to add another high-end prospect in the NHL draft, giving them yet another piece for the future. With multiple talents already in the pipeline, the Blackhawks are steadily building one of the more promising prospect pools in the league. Chicago has salary cap flexibility, which gives them options, whether it's adding short-term veterans to support the young core or making strategic trades to collect more assets. Caleb Williams enters the 2026 season as the clear centerpiece of the franchise. After showing flashes of elite talent early in his career, the focus is now taking on the next step from promising young quarterback to consistent high-level leader. Coaches have emphasized improved accuracy, better decision-making, and command at the line of the scrimmage if Bears are going to compete in a loaded NFC. This has been your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com.
You've heard the final whistle, you've seen the scoreboard, but the conversation is just getting started. Welcome to the fifth quarter, where we break it all down, analyze every play, and give you the perspective that goes beyond the game.
You have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way down top.
That first pitch crushing!
Here comes Chris Paul. The lob. Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan. Boise State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the Tostitos Fiesta.
Game might be over, but we're not. Opinions, hot takes, and everything they didn't say on the broadcast. This is the fifth quarter.
You see that guys aren't thinking quite as much. They're now being able to play faster. Defensively, you see the same thing going on. I feel strongly about how we're coaching them. We went back to the fundamentals on all three levels of our defense, and that showed up yesterday. So we're off to a good start. We'll see what the rest of the way looks like.
Welcome in, everybody, to the fifth quarter. I am your host, Andrew DeBruycker. We are here today to talk exactly what you just heard in that lovely sound clip that we got from the Chicago Bears. That is Ben Johnson talking about all the news of OTAs. With me to talk OTA news and Bears and the rest of Chicago sports that we have to go over today is the Slim Shady himself, my producer, my good friend, Adam Shnayder. How are you doing today, buddy?
I can't complain, man. And I'll say this is the reason I'm sitting down. I'm not the real Slim Shady.
Yeah, I cannot stand up. Need to shave your head. Need to go live in Detroit. Need lots of things to be really considered the Slim Shady.
Absolutely.
But I guess we can immediately kind of just jump right into it, and we can get into the OTAs, the Chicago Bears OTAs kind of coming to a close relatively soon here. So we're getting all of the information about who's going to be a starter, who's going to be reserves. So we're going to go over who's, basically the starting lineup, any issues we have with it, possibly players that we're excited about, things like that.
I'll say this. One thing about the offense Ben Johnson has just kind of going into this season, obviously, it's very complex, especially for new players coming in with rookies. You got Dylan Thieneman, You got the center right out of Iowa, who was a great pick from what I've heard, a steal, supposedly. But
Logan Jones.
Logan Jones, thank you. And even with the rest of these picks, they're going to have to adjust. They're going to have to make the necessary jumps that it takes for some of these players to become great versus good.
Absolutely, and this is definitely the time to look into all of those things. You want to find out how much you can really put on a young player's plate during OTAs and how well they're going to fit in your actual system.
Yeah.
So I guess we could start with the easy one. Bears quarterback is going to be Caleb Williams. He'll be backed by Tyson Bagent, and there's really no real problems with that. Caleb Williams entering his third season with Ben Johnson. Expectations are higher than ever. Kind of had a breakout season that some may consider last year, where he emerged as one of the more clutch quarterbacks in the NFL. With Tyson Bagent being the backup, that should be fantastic. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Case Keenum is our third quarterback, is the Bears' third quarterback. Yeah, which I do not mind at all.
He's a great mentor. Yeah. And I think he's going to just keep helping Tyson Bagent along with Caleb Williams. Is for step back, no matter what positional needs you got going into the season. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be a miracle run. There's the chance we become the Cardiac Bears again, but also, again, with new pieces, you still got to figure out the system with new people coming in. There's going to be some bumps in the road, but figuring it out quickly and figuring it out smartly, I think, is key with these OTAs coming to a close and mandatory training camp coming up very soon.
Absolutely. So we can now move into the running backs. That's the guys play right behind Mr. Caleb Williams. It will be DeAndre Swift as the starter. I feel like we're going to be running back the duo of Swift and Kyle Monangai, which was the NFL's third best rushing attack last season. Swift had a career year with Chicago. He ran over 1,000 yards just the second time in his career. Seventh-round rookie Kyle Monangai, emerged as one of the biggest steals of the 2025 draft for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That will leave Britton Brown, Salvon Ahmed, and Cole Bennett all to kind of fight for roster spots at the very end there. I don't necessarily see any one of them having a head over the other. Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting. I'll be interested to see whether or not Roschon Johnson remains the third running back with the Bears. We've kind of seen enough of him, I would like to say, to form an opinion on him, and I don't really think that there's much left for him with the Bears. I don't know how much more we can give him. I understand he's a third running back, so we necessarily won't really have to worry about him too much unless chaos breaks loose. But that is the name of the game in the NFL. It's always next man up. So I'd be intrigued to see if another running back could take that third RB role off of Roschon Johnson there.
And like you just said, you got the Monangai, you got the DeAndre Swift duo going into the season again. They've provided very much needed offense that Caleb needed for the running game. And with DeAndre Swift kind of being that guy who a lot of people were saying, like, he's more of a secondary running back. He's the RB2 to an extent, yes, but you're not going to have every draft where you're going to have a Bijan Robinson, right?
Yeah.
So you got what you got. You cook with who you cook with. And with Monangai as the backup, you talk about a tank on a tank with feet. Oh, my God.
I mean, the way he runs like these are two Rutgers running backs. So
he's not a Cam Scadabo, though. He's not going to run.
No, I think he runs. Okay, I'm gonna be careful when I say this. I think he runs harder than Scadaboo. I feel like Scadaboo runs more like head down, nose down, not care about his body. Style. He gives me like Isaiah Pacheco vibes, in where like his feet are hitting the ground so hard, he looks like he's angry at the ground. Like he runs like he's like stomping it, like, and just like putting all of his power down from each leg, like into it. He has such an aggressive running style with how he runs that I think it's just perfect for everything that they have going on. But moving into the other guys who also get the ball, they're not handed it, but they're receiving it, some may say. So that would be Romo Dunze and Luther Burden III are projected to be the wide receiver 1 and the wide receiver 2. You can ask most people, and you might have a 50-50 split on who people believe will be the 1 and who people will believe will be the 2. If you were to ask me personally, I think that Romo Dunze is going to be the 1 and Burden will be the 2. I understand with what Burden did last year to kind of propel himself into that conversation, and the back half of the year that Rome had was very rough. So that kind of narrative becomes easy, but we also have to remember that through the first 8 or so weeks, Romo Dunze was one of the top wide receivers in football.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know this is also like a, so many mouths to feed, not, only one football to go around kind of situation too, but with DJ Moore being traded to the Bills, this 1-2 young receiver punch is going to be the focal point of the offense. They also signed Khalif Raymond, who is kind of considered to be the wide receiver 3, as well as a return specialist. And then they drafted Xavier Thomas in the 3rd round out of LSU.
I wouldn't count out Jedi Walker, though. I would not count him out.
Yeah, I think I'd consider him like the 4 and Xavier Thomas like the 5. I know the Bears also signed Scotty Miller as well, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I think he's a fantastic slot receiver that can help out as well. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm really interested to see how this wide receiver room kind of shapes out in terms of targets.
Absolutely. You got a couple diamonds in the rough here. And Xavier Thomas was a very Ben Johnson pick, but we'll see. And like you said, we'll see where this goes, because I have faith that Xavier Thomas can have some moments where he's just like, okay, got him for a reason. Now he's here and he's making plays. But again, he's a rookie. You're going to make the mistakes. And again, learning Ben Johnson's system, this kind of comes back to the coaching aspect of it.
Yeah.
You're going to have a difficult
not
time.
The easiest thing in the world. This is a man that runs one of the more complex systems in football.
But it works once you know it.
Absolutely, it works. I think I kind of draw comparisons to a Aaron Rodgers-esque system. Like Rodgers always gets kind of flack for being very particular with his signs to his wide receivers and things like that. We saw that after he left Green Bay, that there was a huge conversation. Yeah, that's because the offense that he runs is so cut and dry in exactly what it needs to happen and exactly what it needs to be. Yeah, that it does not change very often. But when you get it down, it works.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, how the hell did he get it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes the improvisation comes in clutch when you know a complex system.
Then to kind of move a little quicker into the big fellas, that would be tight ends. Colson Loveland and Cole Kmet will be the 1 and the 2. Roush will be the 3rd. It's realistically one of the best tight end duos / trios in the NFL. Loveland led the team in receiving yards and tied for the most touchdowns last year. Kmet took kind of like a back seat in the passing game, but I mean, he's an excellent blocker, and they drafted Durham Smythe's replacement in Sam Roush, and they signed Hayden Large as well to be kind of that like 4th tight end for them.
And Sam Roush, kind of depending on the play you run, he could be your 6th lineman.
Absolutely.
He's a great blocking tight end.
Both of the Bears have the ability to run some of the most dominant 13 personnel packages, 3 tight end split, 3 tight end formations that we've really seen in the league. Besides, I would kind of say the Rams with Colby Parkinson and others like that. Yeah. But then just to kind of go quickly down it, the Bears offensive line this year will be Braxton Jones at left tackle, Joe Tooney at left guard, Garrett Bradbury, who is replacing the retired Drew Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson at right guard, and Darnell Wright at right tackle. They kind of returned 3 members of their offensive line, and they suffered a massive loss with Drew Dahlman's shocking retirement, but they filled the void with Garrett Bradbury, so I think all of that's very wonderful. We will move into the defensive side of the ball when we come right back here on the 5th quarter.
You
He's right there.
It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The last chance to order beer. But we didn't come here to drink beer. We came here to win this ball game.
Chicago's so lucky.
SportsTownChicago.com.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Pizza at your house and you can get it at the store. Uh-oh, here we go. Chicagoland area. Little Caesars is heating up for the summer. Try our new Crazy Puffs, $3.99. Walk in or delivery. 7 days a week. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Filled with cheesy mozzarella, pepperoni, pizza sauce, buttery, garlic flavored drizzle, Italian herb and Parmesan seasoning, deep dish Detroit style pizza, $7.99. Super cheesy bread, $5.99. Hot and ready combo, $12.99. And for your daily deals, go to LitCaesars.com. Oh, Little Caesars with our crazy puffs and cheesy dreams. You light up my soul with your pepperoni schemes. With every slice we share, with every moment we did in this piece of love affair, so you didn't hear that just here. You don't want to miss out on these delicious deals. Visit your Chicagoland area Little Caesars today. Cheese, cheese, cheese.
Nobody does food better than our friends south of the border. If you're looking for delicious, authentic Mexican food in Chicagoland's backyard, check out the Topos restaurant. Try their quesadillas, burritos, or my favorite, the 3-taco combo with steak and extra chipotle salsa.
Muy caliente.
They even have breakfast for early risers. Topos is the highest rated Mexican restaurant in Naperville on Yelp. Once you try it, you'll understand why. Visit totoposnaperville.com for their menu, special offers, and online ordering on Grubhub. Pickup or delivery. Topos Restaurant. Open nightly until 8:30, closed on Sundays, located next to the Jewel on Aurora Avenue in Naperville. Experience fresh, homemade Mexican at the Topos Restaurant.
I got an affordable family-owned restaurant for you that won't cost you an arm and a leg. It's Goodies in River Grove. My Goodies order never changes. A gyros, not a gyro. Smothered in sauce and hot fries on the side for less than $9. If I'm really starved, I'll add a chicken kebab to my order. Looking for more? Try a juicy cheeseburger, Chicago-style hot dogs, or a toasty corned beef meal. I can walk in 7 days a week, dine with my family, or call 708-583-1700. Pick it up and enjoy it at home. Can't stop in? Not a problem. Goodies delivers through Grubhub, DoorDash, and Seamless. Goodies is located at Cumberland, Belmont, River Grove. Goodies, bring it on.
The summer of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. To reach peak summer mode, you need your summer coffee, like a smooth new s'mores frozen Dunkin' coffee, a refreshing butter pecan iced coffee, or a sweet coconut cream pie cold brew. What could be better than iced frozen coffee on a hot summer day? Nothing. Dunkin' Donuts has all your favorite flavors this summer. So come enjoy the summer of coffee and keep cool out there, kids. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Looking for a great bargain? Want to find cool collectibles? Need to get fresh fruit and vegetables for the family? Come on down to Swap-O-Rama. 3 great locations, 42nd and Ashland in Chicago, Melrose Park in Ulsa, with hundreds of indoor and outdoor vendors selling clothing, tools, electronics, and much, much more. Have stuff for sale? Become a Swap-O-Rama vendor and turn your hidden treasure into cash. Visit their website for market days, hours, and vendor information. Go to swap-o-rama.com. Swap-O-Rama, the first name in flea markets.
Crack open a beer and spread some cheers. The 5th quarter is back.
Welcome in, everybody, to the 5th quarter. I'm your host, Andrew DeBruycker, and with me is my producer, Adam the Slim Shnayder. We have been talking Bears OTAs so far this morning, and we discussed all of the offense on the first part of this show today. We will be going into the defensive side of the ball, starting with edge rushers, then kind of discussing the rest of the defensive line and everything that we can come to expect from this Bears defense. The first, Montez Sweat and Austin Booker. So the Bears kind of returned 3 edge rushers from a season ago with Montez Sweat, as well as Austin Booker and Dayo Adingbo, who both missed significant time due to injury last year. Shamar Turner is also on the team, who's expected to make a switch from defensive tackle to edge, and he will also be part of the rotation returning from injury. So they didn't have to do a whole lot to improve this defensive line, besides kind of just get their guys back.
Get some depth a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. They re-signed Daniel Hardy to provide depth. He's a key special team guy for them as well. But there's a lot to be desired from this group. They only notched 35 sacks last season. A lot of Bears fans assumed that the Bears front office would kind of pursue defense a lot more in this year's draft class, and didn't end up being the case. So we'll have to see a lot of step up from that would be Sweat, Booker, Odigbo, and Shamar Turner.
I guess if we're looking at defense too, kind of going to the cornerbacks and safeties, I think you kind of know where I'm going with this. The two, I think, biggest pickup for the secondary, Malik Muhammad and Dylan Thieneman. Dylan Thieneman dropped.
Absolutely. I guess we can get to that in a little bit. I'm more interested about your thoughts on their defensive line that not being addressed as well, because they did end up addressing that secondary. We can get to that later. I just think that we should discuss the edge rushers right now.
The edge rushers, to me, then, you're getting depth. Dale Odingbo has been injured, like you said, and I do have a couple of issues with this, is because the Bears have overpaid for a guy who has barely played basically all last season. So with that being said, when you come back from injury, you're obviously not going to have that extra step like you did with an ACL tear or a major injury like that. So what are the Bears going to get out of Deo that he was, or where he was like originally when he was playing in Indianapolis? So I got a couple questions on them. Shamar Turner brings some depth, especially when it comes to some of these edge rushers. The Bears have had a couple of issues there over the last few years. And then it's looking like a good rotational depth for the Bears overall, but health is a big concern and a big question that I have personally. Again, kind of going back to the Deo Odingbo thing.
Yeah, and not just him that was injured as well. Booker and Shamar Turner both. Three of the Bears' top four edge rushers have barely played last year.
Absolutely.
So it's tough to, and one of them is making a defensive position change. He's going from inside to outside.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see kind of the production that they're willing to put together throughout this year. But
I do want to say one, just quick thing here. Montez Sweat, for the first time last year, had double-digit sacks. I believe 10.5 sacks. Mm-hmm. And if he can keep this development going under the Ben Johnson system, particularly Dennis Allen, former New Orleans Saints head coach,
shout out,
I think there could be more to come, but the question is, how much more is there to come from Montez Sweat? Has he hit his ceiling? Could he potentially do more? There's a lot of questions amongst the starters that I have as well.
Yeah, it's not just limited to the kind of the defensive side, but with that, they ended up moving into the defensive tackle kind of side. They got returned starting defensive tackles Javon Dexter and Grady Jarrett to a group that really struggled last season, didn't defend the run very well, and Chicago spent free agency adding depth to the position. They signed Neville Gallimore, but realistically, I think they still need to find an impact interior defender to help shore up one of the biggest weaknesses on the roster that I believe, which is this defensive tackle. They also drafted Jordan Van Denberg in the 7th round of the draft.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it does sound like they have big plans from him. He has jumped himself already as a 7th round pick, already to the 4th defensive tackle on the depth chart projected.
That's not bad.
And so I think that's fantastic. Especially if we can find if the Bears can find value in a player like that they get late in the rounds that will still be able to impact, that kind of interior defender. I think that will be for what they're looking for in kind of the long-term kind of scenario.
Absolutely. And kind of going beyond Chicago here, I actually got a big question for Arizona. What's their quarterback situation like? Because Jacoby Brissett wants like Lamar Jackson money, and that's clearly not going to happen.
I mean, not to get too sidetracked here, but to discuss the Brissett thing, I think you're silly to look at a front office that doesn't think they're going to be good and try to I was good for you. And it's like, yeah, we're not trying to be good. Like, if I'm GM of the Cardinals, I know we're not going to be good.
No.
Like, so you telling me I would rather, if you're going to hold out, okay, tough luck.
Exactly.
We have Gardner Minshew, we have Carson Beck. Not that those guys are overly proven, in long stints or are able to fully make it there. Besides Minshew, that in the Saxonville season in 2019,
and Beck took Miami to the national title game.
Sure, but there's also questions about just a lot of things about him. How he plays. He plays incredibly stiff. He doesn't trust himself all too often. He's not a great down the field thrower of the football, and lots of questions there. So just to kind of put my 2 cents in on that, Jacoby Brissett situation.
I'll just throw in one thing too. I'm interested to see how Jeremiah Love develops under this team this year, because it is a bit weak.
Bit weak is very friendly.
It's a nice way of putting it. Yeah. Yes, the offensive line's kind of trash.
Yeah.
I mean, without an offensive line, your running back can't exactly do much.
When the fifth quarter, let's just put it this way. When the fifth quarter did our Playing GM episode, Esteban didn't know anything about the Cardinals and knew that they needed offensive line. It took him 30 minutes of review pre-show to be like, we need help. Like, I can't. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And it's like, that's exactly how a lot of Cardinals fans feel. I believe. But so good.
Team left in the desert.
Yeah, it's not great. So moving more into the defensive starters for the Chicago Bears, into their linebacking core, that would be Devin Bush and TJ Edwards. They released Tremaine Edmonds before free agency to clear up salary cap and found a cheaper replacement in Devin Bush, who had a career resurgence with the Cleveland Browns. They also re-signed DeMarco Jackson, who stepped up for the Bears very heavily last year with TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. I know I really like that name pairing together, but when it's written down in front of you, sometimes you have a hard time. But DeMarco Jackson stepped up amid injuries to both of them, and they also returned a familiar face in Jack Sanborn to complete a room with Noah Sewell and Ruben Hippolyte II, and then fifth-round rookie Keyshawn Elliott will also kind of factor into the linebacker core and the reserves. He's made his way all the way to linebacker 6 on the depth chart so far projected. So I think that with the draft pick, with the re-signing of DeMarco Jackson, with the free agency signing of Devin Bush, I think that this linebacker core is heavily improved, and I'm very excited to see how they will go looking forward.
Absolutely, and especially if you're trying to get a little younger, if you're trying to see if you can improve upon your defense, kind of reiterating kind of what you said, Devin Bush could be, he's a fast linebacker. He's a fast dude. He's able to give you that push. He's able to get a sack provided if needed. But I'll say this. I'm always the guy who's cautiously optimistic about players that are getting signed. It's exciting, yes, but you also got to look at it from the perspective of what is he going to bring to this team that we didn't have before.
I think he's just a cheaper Tremaine Edmonds. If you're going to ask, if you're curious about it, I think he's a cheaper and younger Tremaine Edmonds who had a career resurgence. You knew that that the Bears were moving into an area where they were probably going to be more strung for cash. Mm-hmm. Caleb's contract his extension is going to end up coming up soon.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cap casualties kind of last year for the Bears. So it'll be very interesting to kind of see everything that goes with their linebacker core. Going into corners real quick, Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, and then Malik Muhammad, who you mentioned. Everybody's kind of returning healthily besides Kyler Gordon and Josh Blackwell. So it's kind of the decision: do you start or do you trust Tyreek Stevenson to start, or do you turn to fourth-round rookie? And then the signing of Kobe Bryant and the drafting of Dylan Tieneman and the safeties as well. A whole bunch of fun for the Chicago Bears. But we will talk White Sox and Cubs when we come back here on the fifth quarter.
I sound a little cocky, but I think we're legends in Chicago. We really are.
SportsTownChicago.com.
We're all looking to save $1 these days, right? Well, Pino's on Man is the perfect spot for pizza lovers with the $10 and under menu that'll make your taste buds and your wallet happy. Fried chicken sandwiches, just $6. It's so good I had to start working there just to eat it every day. That's not all. Grab 2 large one-topping pizzas with extra cheesy goodness and a 2-liter soda for just $26.30. Plus, order online and get 5% off exclusive deals. Family owned and operated for 30 years. Open 7 days a week and until 8 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Check them out on the corner of North Main and Willoughby. Pino's on Man.
Oh my God, I need some Pookie's crack cake. Pookie's crack cakes.
Yeah, girl. You ain't never heard about the best crack cakes in Chicago?
They're right there in the Bronzeville area, right at 105 East 47th Street.
They're moist. One bite and you're addicted.
They got the caramel cake, butter pecan praline, and red velvet. Ooh, and don't forget the strawberry lemonade and the chocolate Oreo dream. They're open Wednesday through Saturdays, 11 to 6 p.m. Sundays, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And they're closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Early arrival is highly recommended. First come, first serve. They give out tickets at 10 a.m.
Just mention you heard it right here on Real Girl Talk Radio, and you'll get a free butter cookie with your purchase. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and Facebook at Pookie's Crack Cakes.
Girl, where you going?
I gotta go get my crack cake.
Let's go.
Looking for a great bargain? Want to find cool collectibles? Need to get fresh fruit and vegetables for the family? Come on down to Swamporama. 3 great locations, 42nd and Ashland in Chicago, Melrose Park, and Alpha, with hundreds of indoor and outdoor vendors selling clothing, tools, electronics, and much, much more. Have stuff for sale? Become a Swamporama vendor and turn your hidden treasure into cash. Visit their website for market days, hours, and vendor information. Go to swap-o-rama.com. Swamporama, the first name in flea markets.
Back to your home for sports.
Here's your SportsTownChicago.com.
It is 1:47. Chicago.com update brought to you by Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. Green Bay Packers are dealing with a developing legal situation involving running back Josh Jacobs. The team stresses patience as the process plays out. In Kansas City, there's optimism as Patrick Mahomes has returned to the field for drills during OTAs while recovering from a knee injury, a positive sign for the Super Bowl contenders. Oklahoma City currently leads San Antonio 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals after Game 5 win. League MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been a key factor, putting up big performances, while Oklahoma City's depth has given them the edge in crucial moments. On the other side, San Antonio is looking for a strong response behind Victor Wembanyama as they face elimination heading into Game 6. Tip-off will be tonight at 7:30 on NBC. Pitchers are making statements early this season with multiple starters delivering dominant outings and high strikeout totals, reinforcing a strong trend of pitching across baseball. At the same time, some hitters are heating up with big names like Yordan Alvarez putting together power surges, including multi games, while others continue climbing leaderboards in key offensive categories. FIFA World Cup begins June 11th in Mexico City, with the final scheduled for July 19th in New Jersey, marking the first time 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, will co-host the event. This year's World Cup will feature a record 48 teams and 104 matches, expanding the global stage like never before. This has been your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com.
Well, it's seems like 4 quarters of action just isn't enough because, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the 5th quarter with your host, Andrew DeBruycker.
Deep in the right field. Back you go! Murakami goes deep here in the 1st, and we are tied. His 18th home run of the season, ending a 7-game drought.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 5th quarter. I am your host, Andrew DeBruycker. With me is my producer and my lovely co-host today, Adam Shnayder. And today, we talked about the Bears OTAs so far, went over their offense, went over their defense.
Yes, sir.
But now to switch into a different type of sports ball, we're going into baseball. Oh, my goodness. I love me some baseball. So excited to talk about them. Haven't been able to talk about it very often. Found there was an empty segment in today's show and figured that I'd just bombard Adam with White Sox and Cubs talk for a good 15 minutes. So thank you for having to endure that today.
Hey, no problem. I love the White Sox too, man.
So we can start there. Let's start on the happy note, I guess, because it seems like a certain team up north may be having a little more issues than the Chicago White Sox. So Chicago White Sox are 5-5 in their last 10 games. They are currently 28 and 27.
Above 500.
Yeah. They broke into the above 500 it would be silly to call it a club, but the over 500 club for the first time in 1,300 days in this past month.
I have hope.
The group to end a 4.75 ERA by their pitchers. They've outscored opponents by a total of 4 runs so far this season.
Yeah.
I guess I will ask you what is your something that you're so excited about the Chicago White Sox recently?
I know this might sound like a kind of answer, but Murakami.
Yeah, I mean admiration after a certain point where
he hit his 20th home run in that 15-2 victory against the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
And not just did he hit his 20th home run, this shows that the White Sox are headed in the right direction for once, outside of making the playoffs 5 years ago. But they didn't win. But kind of going back to my original point, this is a good sign. These young players are doing so well. They're meshing well.
Yeah, sorry, just to kind of jump in there. I don't think people discuss the fact that Munetaka is 26 enough.
I mean, he's a young player.
26. This is a guy that hasn't hit his prime yet. He's still about 5 years out by baseball standards of his prime, his peak baseball powers.
And we're seeing 20 home runs in the season already.
Yeah, quicker than I only think there 3 other players hit 20 homers quicker than him at his age.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, we got a little distracted.
One of the fans is showing us some pizza.
Yeah, Jen was letting us know that there is pizza for people outside. So I guess if you're at Illinois Media School in the 5th quarter, go check out some pizza maybe in the break room. I know I'll be checking that out later.
There's going to be a long line.
Be kind of young players that have shown out for the White Sox so far. Another player that I brings such a fan of the Chicago White Sox. Chase Mydroth plays the game like in a way where it's like I can see like an old dad being like, yes, like that's who I want to date my daughter. Like he plays the game, like you know what I mean? Like he plays the game in like the quote unquote like old head. He plays the game the right way type thing, but he hits the ball all over the field. He plays an aggressive defense that is incredibly good. And I think what I enjoy most about watching Chase Mydroth play is the fire that he brings. We kind of have those silent killers in Munetaka and in Colson Montgomery, Miguel Vargas. Those are the silent lead by example kind of types, but you need that guy that is just going to just live with this fire in him, and every tiny hit, every big thing, hyping everybody up, running around the bases, screaming. Grand slam from him the other day as not a power hitter, and I thought his head was going to blow off from how much he was yelling walking into the dugout.
Yeah.
It just so I think that's the key point for the Chicago White Sox. Exciting.
Oh, yeah. And also, you got a lot of other players like Sam Antonacci. You got Drew Romo. You got...
Never mind. Our good guy Chris has thefted a whole pizza, so we'll have pizza in here anyway. But the only thing we don't like about Chris is that he's a Dodgers fan.
Speaking of the Dodgers... I'm kidding.
No.
No, this is strictly Chicago.
God. I don't...
Edgar Quiero? Is that
Caro.
Oh, Caro, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to... Okay.
It looks like it would be said fancily. It is not.
Okay. Edgar Caro.
Edward Caro. No, Edgar Caro.
But it's not even just like some of the bigger names you see on the White Sox. It's also these depth pieces that make this team so good too. Like everyone is contributing in somewhat shape or form. I love it. A lot of the White Sox players are loving this, or White Sox fans are loving it. Nick Johnston is loving this. Media school.
Because it's really exactly kind of what I was leading into. It's exciting to watch the White Sox again.
I know.
It's exciting to watch the White Sox. And it is normally not exciting to watch the White Sox. My brother often has described it as like these past 3 years have been... We were very dedicated White Sox fans, and so we'd watch the game, and then we'd go ahead and we'd listen, and then we'd talk to some people about it, and they'd be like, wow, you guys are in a tough spot. And we'd be like, yeah, I know. I also, too, had to watch the game. I know you probably read on the news about the White Sox being bad and not so great, but I actually had to watch them be bad. I had to watch as all, chaos broke loose.
Oh, absolutely.
But with everything that they've had going on so far, Tristan Peters has been insane. I would be absolutely a fool if I did not mention Riku Nishida. It doesn't matter that he's only been up for 3 total games so far, or 2 total games. 3 total games so far.
I was going to say that's a new name I heard recently.
Yes. So this is let me paint the table for you, and we can use the 4th segment to go over the Chicago Cubs. With everything that goes on in the clubhouse of the Chicago White Sox, there is an open hole in right field.
Mm-hmm.
So with Tristan Peters kind of filling in there sometimes, we had Luis Angel Acuna, Randall Grichuk, Derek Hill, all these kind of guys fill in for him. Well, the White Sox decided to bring up a 5'6", 150-pound Japanese man from their AAA team. He got brought up. I told Nick I fell in love instantly. He got brought up, and his position was just UTL, which is in baseball terms utility man. So they didn't even bother saying that he had a position. They just said he can play a whole bunch of them. And I love a player that is that tooled out where he can go wherever you. I mean, he's very humble. He seems to bring like a personality and a likability to the White Sox that, like I said earlier, Munetaka, Vargas, Montgomery aren't necessarily the most outwardly spoken baseball players.
Results speak for themselves, though.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So it's very interesting to see everything that they have kind of done. I'm really excited to see where they will go in the future. I love seeing Nishida there. I can't wait for Hagen Smith and Braden Montgomery to be called up, 2 of the White Sox top prospects. David Sandlin got brought up yesterday. My goodness, just had a little bit of a rough start. He gave up that leadoff that leadoff homer to Byron Buxton, but then ended up having a fantastic game and getting the win in his debut. That's another guy, 25 years old, hasn't done a whole lot for the White Sox yet, and I think that's all what we have been looking forward to.
I want to just make a quick little note.
Go right ahead.
This is one of the better White Sox teams that I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
But also, this is like, even if the Sox don't make the playoffs, it's still enjoyable to watch. And it's showing that this team, again, as mentioned earlier in the segment, that they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I kind of joked, don't give me hope, and that's kind of exactly what I have. But when we come back, we will talk Cubs right here on the Jet. I was gonna say something silly, and then I realized that's not my show. It's just a show I love listening to. Shout out to the Just Baseball Show, because they're one of the premier shows at baseball. But for me and Adam, we will be right back talking Cubs on the fifth quarter.
Chicago Sports for sure.
SportsTownChicago.com. It's the summer of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. To reach peak summer mode, you need your summer coffee. Like a smooth, new s'mores frozen Dunkin' coffee, a refreshing butter pecan iced coffee, or a sweet coconut cream pie cold brew. What could be better than an iced or frozen coffee on a hot summer day? Nothing. Dunkin' Donuts has all your favorite flavors this summer. So come enjoy the summer of coffee and keep cool out there, kids. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
When car dealers fight for your business, you win. AutoJudo.com makes car buying fun by letting dealers compete for your business live. Real-time Auto Judo fights are the fast and easy new way to get multiple dealers' best offer on any car you want. It's free and anonymous. Only the dealer you select as the winner of your Auto Judo fight receives your contact info. You're never obligated to buy, so test drive your best deals now at AutoJudo.com. Dealers fight, you say,
Yo, 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 check it out. We got the finest pizza in all the land. Italian Fiesta is on deck, and I'm telling you, it's a hit. These pies don't miss. No matter what time you get the munchies. Pepperoni, extra cheese, turkey Italian sausage, they got all the toppings. Italian Fiesta delivers until midnight during the week and 1 a.m. on the weekends. Plus, you can use your Uber Eats or Grubhub if you got the app. And if you ain't rocking with the pizza that night, try one of their sandwiches or pasta. And they have plenty of side dishes, just like me, if you know what I mean. Hop online and go to ItalianFiesta.com or call 773-684-2222. Piece of pizza, that is.
There's only one place to watch your favorite sports team and have mouth-watering pizza. Come on down to Moretti's Pizzeria, where you can get a pizza for half the price every Tuesday. Try out our delicious varieties of pizza, sandwiches, and much more. I don't know about you, but a gooey mac and cheese pizza with a size of cheesy mozzarella sticks and watching sports sounds like paradise to me. Stop by at one of our 12 locations near you. We're open 7 days a week, anywhere from 10:30 a.m. to midnight. Visit our website, Moretti'sRestaurants.com, for delivery, catering, and even private parties. Moretti's, we bring the fun.
Did you know that Club New in Aurora is the ultimate entertainment complex? Monday nights, it's free football and darts in the sports bar. Tuesday night is league night. Join the pool and darts team. Wednesday night is ladies' night at Club New. All the ladies get in free. Gentlemen pay a $5 cover after 9 p.m. Thursday night starts the weekend off right with college flashback night. Low price drinks, retro music, and an awesome buffet. Friday and Saturday night, it's the hottest dance club in the suburbs. Club New Nightclub and Sports Bar is located at 2121 New York Street in Aurora.
You've tried the it places, but they leave you hungry with an empty wallet. That's where Gretel comes in. They got what you really want. Visit their chic, lounge-like gastropub and try one of Chicago's top burgers, the Gretel Griddle Burger. The house-made bun and garlic aioli set this one apart from the rest. And don't miss half-price oysters, 4 to 6, Monday through Thursday, with rotating drafts, craft cocktails, and portions that don't skip. This is one of Logan Square's best-kept secrets. Monday through Thursday, 11 to midnight. Friday and Saturday, open to 1. 2833 West Armitage. Gretel, let's make this a night. Visit GretelChicago.com for menu and more.
Here we go. This is the fifth quarter. Welcome back.
Cut the BS, pal. Let's go.
Run home run yesterday. To center. Neil Cruz is back. He's at the warning track. He's at the wall. It's gone. Michael Bush, dead center. 6th home run of the year. Second in as many games. Cubs on the board. We're tied up at 1.
Welcome back, everybody, to the fifth quarter. I am your host, Andrew DeBruycker. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast so far. Find us on all platforms, wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Amazon, etc. Follow us, if you want to see us on Instagram. All that stuff's in the description. Check out Sportstown Chicago YouTube. I'll be eating some pizza in the off time there, but it's okay. Everything's cool. Yep. Difficulties from time to time.
Amen. And you know what? Some good dominoes.
Absolutely, it was some good dominoes. And I'm joined by my producer and my good buddy, Adam Shnayder. And we are talking Cubs baseball. So that everybody put on the somber music. Da-na-na-na-na-na. And the White Sox, or not the White Sox, the Cubs, because we're done talking about the White Sox. The Cubs are 1-10 in their last 11, and it is a
9 losses,
incredible slide.
10 losses.
Yes, here's the crazy thing about that. With all of that happening, with their win last night, the Cubs are back to second in the NL Central. They were fifth before. One win in the NL Central moves you from fifth in the NL Central to second. They're 30-26 right now. Cardinals, Reds, and Pirates all with 29 wins apiece.
And the Braves at the top of the NL. 32.
What? The Braves?
Of the National League.
Oh, I was talking the Central. Yes, the Braves are the best team in the National.
I thought you were talking.
No.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
The National League Central Division.
I thought you were talking like better records over. Okay.
Better records than.
National League Central. Yeah, if we're looking at the National League Central, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Second best record. And then you got the Brewers, obviously, at 33-20. 623% winning percentage.
Nobody cares about the Brewers.
I said Brewers.
Nobody cares about the Brewers either.
I mean, they're at the top. But yeah
they're always at the top. They never top. They cannot pitch. But Brecken, PCA, Carson Kelly, all OPS over 800 the past 7 days. But that doesn't even matter when you have, realistically, Jordan Wicks just made his first start of the year, and he's kind of considered your 3 now. So it showed up Ben Brown, Jordan Wicks, and then Tyone and Colin Ray. It really is just it's a really tough look. And then your bullpen, I get Jacob Webb has been absolutely outstanding after a free agent that they got over the year, but Phil Maton has been absolutely egregious to watch. Rollison and Trent Thornton haven't looked great. It's kind of just been the Caleb Theobar and Daniel Palencia show for the Cubs, and that's not enough when you're a team that wants to be competing for the World Series. We also saw Edward Cabrera go down with a blister on his finger last week. He is one of the starters that's been doing great for him as well. Matthew Boyd with the knee surgery. Cade Horton with the Tommy John. Justin Steele, UCL revision repair. We don't know if he's going to be, when we're going to be able to see him come back to the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
And then that's just starting pitchers. Their AAA or not AAA. Their injured list has gotten very extensive in just the amount of pitching that they have, and their AAA outlook for pitching is just realistically not that good. Jackson Wiggins, Brody McCullough, Brandon Birdsell, Kyle Wright, Cole Franklin. That's 5 guys that you could go to in AAA that are all injured as well. So it's really tough to see the health kind of take a nosedive on this season that a lot of people, including myself, pegged the Cubs to be better than they really have been in a long time. I know that a lot of Cubs fans have been disappointed with how much, with kind of just the seemingly lack of superstar, or like, it seemed like they were going to be, world killers.
Well, especially with the contract that the Cubs gave to PCA, he's kind of had a downslope from what I've seen, especially if he's not good on the outfield. He's not good from what I saw.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, take a note. We'll clip that right there. This is why you can't just operate purely off of what you see in Twitter clips and things like that, because then you come away with the explanation PCA isn't great in the outfield, when realistically he's probably the greatest defensive outfielder in Major League Baseball, and he's had a few flubs, which is why it's getting pushed so much. But he is fantastic. Realistically, why they gave him that contract is not because of his bat. I know because he went 30 for 30, a lot of people like to assume or kind of consider that.
Yeah, of course.
But weighted runs created plus. So weighted means that. So all right, Adam, here we go. we're gonna talk stats now, so you understand me when I'm talking baseball more.
Okay.
WRC plus. So weighted, the little tiny W in front of things, because not all Major League stadiums are the same.
Yeah.
You can't have a homer in Yankee Stadium equal the same as a homer in San Diego.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
So you have to weight them by how good it is. The best way to look at WRC plus is 100 is average. The average Major League Baseball player, hitting wise, has an 100 WRC plus.
Okay.
So if you have a WRC plus of 101, you are player.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
PCA only had a WRC plus last year of 109. Because of what he can do at the plate. I know he has struggled incredibly, but this man, I mean, he had 5.4 WAR last year. Almost 6-win season last year. It was absolutely incredible.
Everyone has their ups and downs. That's kind of basic sports 101. I know that, but I'm not trying to say that he is bad. Not at all. There's a reason he got that contract. But sometimes you have a couple of those days where you kind of struggle, and sometimes
hitting. It's just that the Cubs have a real problem with runners in scoring position. It's a huge issue for them. There have been multiple times where I've been checking the game day or check the box score after the game, and the Cubs have left 11 or the Cubs have left 13 or a very egregious number on base, and you just can't do that when you're trying to win ball games. It sounds kind of redundant when I put it that way. What the goal is for this Cubs team is you can't rely on your pitching too much.
Yeah.
You have this team that brought in a Alex Bregman, that brought up a Moises Ballesteros, that has some pop and a lot of great talent on it. I mean, heck, this team has what? PCA, Horner, Bush, Bregman, Happ, and Dansby were all first-round picks. 7 first-round picks on it. So this is a team with talent on it. Make no mistake about it.
Oh, yeah.
It is just that they can't seem to bring in the runner from second or third. It becomes a big problem for them, and you need that, especially when your pitching is struggling as much as it has been.
Also, I know there's a little offsides here. Offside talks. But anyways, yesterday at Dogs, speaking of injuries, we saw a guy,
Andrew Belletti. I hope your arm gets better. I hope everything is good.
That didn't look good
because there are some times as fans of sport you see injuries that really just like it makes you like want to curl into yourself where you're like, oh
no, absolutely,
yeah, it's just not great.
I know, a little offside, but kind of like I said, going with the injury things. There was a couple of them we saw, and that was big. Well, third inning, I believe, fourth.
The injury,
with the pitcher from
that was the first inning. He got one out.
That's right.
Yeah,
it was
very tough. Very tough.
And you know what? As sports fans, we kind of sometimes it brings us together. It's like you don't wish these injuries upon anybody. No matter how much of a meatball, no matter how much you want to win, how much you want your team to win, you see that kind of injury and you're like, I really hope he is okay. Unless you wish injury upon someone, then you're just a terrible person. But
yeah,
besides the point, that's not good.
And I just want to discuss another thing kind of for the Cubs and everything.
Yeah.
Today's game is going to be absolutely perfect time, or maybe the worst time to run into one Paul Skeens. I don't know if that's a great thing or a bad thing for the Cubs. I don't know if it's when you finally get your first win after 10 games and then you have to turn around and go against one of the best pitchers in the National League, the guy that's, by my opinion, the runner-up in Cy Young right now. The Cy Young, the reigning Cy Young winner, the reigning best pitcher in the entire National League. And you guys have to start Colin Ray against him. Now, it's just really, really hard for me to look at this as a positive. I hope that the Cubs can spin it into a positive as we're challenged or something like that. But I could really see them getting destroyed here and then having to head to St. Louis for this next series and having their confidence shot and kind of continuing this slide. I hope that this game against the Pirates tonight will be able to kind of lift their spirits a little bit and maybe rally the troops, because it does not look favorable for the Cubs if they drop this game to Skeens and they look terrible during it.
Oh, absolutely. And to add on to that, it's you, like you said, you win your first game, you lose again. It's a little embarrassing because people will start to think like, oh, that might have just been a fluke. It might have just been a fluky win. Then again, you're on the road again, going to St. Louis, your rival, as well as Pirates being the rival in the National League Central, and you lose 3 straight again. There's going to be a lot of questions to be asked about this team going forward.
Absolutely. Lots of questions to be had about the Cubs pitching staff and how they're going to kind of bounce back from their loss streak so far. I think that we can kind of head off sides now and head into a little whatever you'd like to talk about. I know that actually, good to know. 30 seconds left. That good thing that mic's not live. I don't care how close you lean in. Yeah.
Hi, Alex.
Back up. Yeah. All right, everybody, follow the ZX show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on Tuesday.
He's right there. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. The last chance to order beer. But we didn't come here to drink beer. We came here to win this ball game.
Chicago's so lucky.
SportsTownChicago.com. 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Pizza at your house and you can get it at the store. Uh-oh, here we go. Chicagoland area. Little Caesars is heating up for the summer. Try our new Crazy Puffs. $3.99. Walk in or delivery. 7 days a week. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Filled with cheesy mozzarella, pepperoni, pizza sauce, buttery, garlic flavored drizzle, Italian herb and Parmesan seasoning.